What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Red Eye Podcast. It's your girl, Nay.
It's your boy, T.
It's your boy, Zay.
The host of this channel.
My name's X. And welcome to the show. So we got Tarik in the building again. Horns for Tarik. You know what it is. It's Sunday. It's a
Sunday fun day.
It's a holy day. We're going to have some unholy things to talk about today, Tarik.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
it must be said, you know. Today we got a jam-packed episode for you. First off, thank you guys for checking us out. If you are on Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us that 5-star rating. If you are on Spotify, share it for us. We're on every streaming podcast platform. I know I say that at every podcast, but you know, just want to.
You gotta remind people because they slow.
Oh, y'all not slow. I mean, my subscribers, y'all low key lit. I mean, y'all be in the comments, y'all be sharing. That's why I love y'all.
In that thing.
Yeah, y'all be in that thing. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we build in this family. You know, we still small, but I think that we are big at the same time because I look at each one of you guys as a person and not a number because you are truly a person. And yeah, we love you guys. So if you haven't checked out her channel, she actually started a podcast as well, and she hasn't named it yet. We just edited it, and it came out nice. So, you know, hopefully we can come up with a name.
Yeah. Help me with a name, y'all.
So drop a comment. What should she name her podcast? Listen to it. Actually,
But my podcast is not the same as his, just to let y'all know. I'm not trying to copy his flow. You know, we live in the same house anyway. But I was doing it because, you know, I crochet. So, like, crochet and talking. Because it's kind of like going live anyway. So, it works out.
What are some of the topics you're going to talk about?
I don't know, man. I want to do some of everything, though. But I feel like everybody going to ask crochet-related stuff. So, obviously, crochet going to be tied into it, too. But kind of want to talk about, like, everything. And, like, if you haven't seen the podcast where we talked about my chronic illness, I do want to touch on a lot of stuff with that. And, you know, just so people know.
Yes. So definitely check her out. She has the big platform, of course, and
We're almost at 50K. Sorry, I got so happy. I'm about to hit 48 right now. I'm
But
like 8 away.
8 away, 800, all right.
No, like 8 people away from 48K.
Oh, from 48. I thought you meant 50. So yeah, when she hits 50K, I think she's gonna be doing some kind of giveaway.
And I already got the first prize, so.
Yeah, Tarik already got the first prize. He had dibs.
Sorry.
So he's a friend of the show.
I want a crochet belt.
Ooh, that's interesting.
This guy said a belt. It would kind of be like one of those belts like back in the day where you would loop it through the hole and pull tight in. And loose.
I think
That
it'll
would be
just
cute.
get kind of like not elastic over time. Like it'll de-elastify. I don't know what you call that.
I don't know.
It'll get loose.
Get loose.
Yeah, it'll get loose.
Get loose.
But we have Tarik on the show again for a second time. This time we're not really going to be talking about real estate, but give us an update. How things been going for you since the last show?
Regarding real estate?
I guess anything. How have you been?
I've been good. Busy with real estate. I had to evict a tenant, so I went to court. Had to do an eviction. My first
Hey, I sound just like
eviction.
that meme. My bad, Tarik. But did I sound just like that meme right there?
Damn.
My bad. Go ahead, Tarik.
I started work on the project that I talked about on the last podcast. We're demolishing a house, so taking out the sheetrock and whatnot. So, yeah, the renovation process is going to start soon, but we got to take out some stuff. So that's what I've been busy doing. So, yeah, we start up Monday at 8 a.m. So, yep.
Nice. So you've been destroying the property, getting it ready, doing everything yourself, which is pretty insane to me because, you know, it's a great feat to do.
Yep.
And you decided to come back on the show, not just because, you know, I thought we had a great one and I wanted you back, but because you actually really enjoyed the conversations we had last time and so forth. So I'm hoping Tarik gets the podcast bug as well and starts his own because he has so much knowledge, not just real estate, but like.
I actually, yeah, so I am, well, not a podcast, but I'm doing a docu-series for the project I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be similar to like The Last Dance, Michael Jordan's Last Dance on Netflix, where we have like, of course, the future, but then we kind of like go back in the past, rewind it. So we're going to have some content dropping. So
Wait,
both of
who's
y'all-
doing that? Who's doing that for you?
my friend Lolo Jones, not
How
Lolo
dare
Jones.
Oh, I was about to
you.
say Lolo.
Not Lolo Jones. Not Lolo
How
Jones.
dare
Lolo.
you.
You know him. He ran track for the 400.
Oh, okay.
He's a traitor because he didn't come to us to do it.
Nah, I mean,
No!
Tarik,
So we can have this conversation. All right. Just so we can clarify. So we were supposed to do this podcast this last weekend, and I was going to run it by you, and then I was meeting with Lolo on Wednesday. So then we rescheduled this podcast, and then when I met Lolo, he was just so excited for it. He kind of just
made it happen.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so I think it's great that people are being more open to sharing the knowledge that they have, even at a young age. I feel like we've developed a lot of knowledge for whatever we do. We're kind of there's not too many people doing
camera.
Huh?
You can't yawn on the camera.
Yeah, she over here yawning.
To cover my mouth.
That's why y'all need to watch the YouTube version, because I don't think you get the full effect when you just listening to it, because there's a lot of kind of funny engagements that we have, especially on a slump episode.
Because you kept looking at me. You have something on your face.
Thanks. But yeah, this episode wasn't going to be more so intended about the real estate aspect. Glad that you informed us on that. Hopefully,
actually, a lot of people that I know from like my college I'm at now say that they watched the episode and they're pumped to watch your stuff. They subscribe to you and they were so excited to watch your stuff as well. And I'm like, dang, y'all watching my people's stuff? Like, I was hyped.
We gotta get to 48K.
Yeah, we got. Well, I mean, she gotta get to 48K. Me, that's why I love my subscribers, because y'all really be showing out. Like, y'all be showing the hell out. Y'all be in the damn comments. Y'all be showing love. I'll be like, once we get to 1,000 subs, it's gonna be like, it's a wrap.
It's only up.
All we need is we don't even need 1,000, to be honest. We cool, but I'm saying, I feel like
you pulling way more views than anybody with that low amount of subs. So I feel like subs don't even matter.
But at the same time, to me, it's the watch time, because
Right.
I want people to hear what we're talking about and listen and, give their opinion on what the conversation and all that stuff. So to me, a view is cool and all, but I'd rather you actually listen to what we're talking about and see if it could help you, or
So you want longer watch times?
that's the goal, not necessarily because
Average watch times.
for the monetization, but for this is a podcast,
Right.
But I think anybody really in general who have podcasts or tutorials like I do, you want your people to stay engaged. You don't want somebody to stay engaged for 1 minute and then click off your video.
Right.
Because then you're not doing something right. So to have people engaged and watching everything is really good.
Yeah, definitely trying to start that family. So, if
you trying to start a family with me?
well, that too.
Floyd
But-
family.
Oh my goodness.
Floyd family. Generation. I like that too. FF.
FF.
They say F is for friends.
FF gang.
F is for friends. F is for Floyds.
Friend Floyd gang. What does it stand for?
F is for friends. That's what people say, but F is for Floyds. Floyd family.
Oh,
FF gang.
The FF gang.
FF gang.
That's when he proposed to me. That's a whole nother conversation though.
Yes. So yeah, we love y'all. If you have anything that you just need to get on your chest, we here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and drop that comment, or you can DM me privately. Follow us on Instagram. Tarik, what's your Instagram?
The Prince Tyler.
The Prince Tyler.
The Prince Tyler.
So classy. What about you?
It's Naomi Murray. Y'all know me.
And mine is, I don't even know what
even
the Xavier.Floyd _ I think that's what it is.
Why
Xavier.
can't you just be basic?
What
with
you mean?
None of the periods and the underscores. You gotta add all that.
There's more Xavier.
Is there an
Floyd.
asterisk in there as well?
An asterisk?
Asterisk.
Like a little star?
Yeah. You got that too?
You can't even put stars.
Okay.
Those don't even exist. You thirsty now?
I need you to talk to the mic. That's what I need you to do.
I'm trying to project my voice, but you keep stealing the microphone.
You talk to Tarik and you be. But on to the first topic that we wanted to discuss. This is a big one. This is a controversial one. Weed, marijuana, Mary Jane,
The ganja.
Tarifa.
that Bob Marley. We talked briefly about weed in our last podcast, because you expressed to the folks that you were smoking to help you with pain. So basically medicinal use, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I ain't go cap because I'm human just like everybody else. I did originally when I first started smoking weed, I was just smoking weed, just smoke weed. But then when I discovered my chronic illness, that's really what I was smoking for, my chronic illness. It was no longer just because I wanted to smoke weed. But even still, beforehand, I was never smoking weed that much. But yeah, when your girl discovered she had the chronic illness and that pain was kicking in, for those who got endometriosis, y'all know what I'm talking about. They say endometriosis is like giving birth. So imagine giving birth every single month. you be smoking weed too.
Did it help?
Oh, it helps so much. I sleep through the night. Like, it takes, I guess, like, it don't take the pain away, but it, like,
Numbs it down.
numbs it down, yeah.
So you I don't know what Tarik like. So but from okay, let's say it like this: you started smoking weed because it became like a social thing, right?
Right.
And
This was when I was in high school and like freshman college years.
So when was the first time you smoked weed?
Okay, see, this is the thing. I think at high school, my senior or junior year, because I ain't smoked weed in Korea because I didn't even know weed existed. But I smoked weed my junior or senior year, and I think I was smoking, but I wasn't really smoking. Like, I was just...
Not inhaling.
Yeah, so I was never really high. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, damn, what was I on? Like, I was not high at all. Your girl's just blowing air out. Like, it was so bad.
I remember the first time I smoked weed, it was Christmas break, senior year of college. That was the first time I smoked weed.
Really?
Christmas break senior year?
Yeah, of college.
Oh my goodness.
Dang, you make me feel like I'm bad.
So what was that, like 2016, I think.
Oh, you
Okay.
graduated in 2016? I graduated high school in 2016.
I graduated 2017.
So what
Christmas
made what made you like what was the
Same as her. We were just chilling. It was Christmas break, and we had to be on campus. There was nothing to do. So my friends was like, hey, you want to light up? You want to hotbox a bathroom? I was like, sure, never done it before, but why
Did
not?
you die in a hot box?
Yeah, I was coughing. I didn't even know how to light the thing. Like, we didn't have we had like the little bowl thing, and I had my friend like light it, and he was holding it for me because it was too much work at that time for me. But what was your question? Oh yeah, it was
What was it
it was social. It was in a social atmosphere. Yeah.
So I think most people when they first experience like the weed, it is because of peer pressure. Did you feel like you did it willingly, or you just feel like
Oh, I did it willingly.
yeah?
I think for me, it was more peer pressure because I wanted to blend in. Like, that's what everybody my age was doing. Everybody in my school was doing. So I just did it.
But
to
question though, the first time that you did it, was it like you guys were just chilling on the couch like you guys are now, and then someone just brought it out, or was it like, hey, do you guys want to smoke? Like, how did it come about?
So the girl actually that I used to ride to school with, me and her were pretty close, and she would always smoke on the way to school. So like, she's
In high
like, you want to
school?
hit? And I'm like, sure. Like,
Huh.
yeah, in high school.
Smoke on the way to school.
On
in
the
high
way
school.
to school.
She
in
still
high
smokes
school.
now?
Yes.
I've never heard of anything like that before.
My school was the biggest drug school in San Antonio. They were doing a lot worse things than weed.
Everybody be claiming that. My
Nah,
school was
look it up. Look it up. There's no lies.
so
I ain't telling y'all what school I went to though.
yeah, there be some stalker dudes and stalker people out there. They be like, maybe where she went to.
Pull out the yearbook photo from 2016.
Yep. But I guess in that case, what was your experience like the first time you smoked? Was it a pleasant experience, or was it more so, I'll do it again, but I'm not really excited to? I get mixed kind of first experience.
Yeah, coughed a lot, but I didn't have any of those type of first experience when people have when they get like a super paranoid and don't want to do it again. It was how I felt about it was like, if it happens, it happens. But I wouldn't be like an advocate to consume it. But it was a good feeling. It was chill. It was laid back. I don't think it really hit me until like I was back in my apartment because I was at a friend's place. And then I went back to my place. And then I remember that Christmas break, we might have had it twice. So a week or two later, we had it again. And it was a good feeling. I enjoyed it.
I think for me, when I was in high school, I don't think I ever really was high. Like, looking back now and knowing how I feel when I'm high,
Yeah.
I don't think I was high at all. And I don't even think my first
That's
year of
'cause you wasn't
college I was
inhaling.
high either. Yeah. But even when I went to my first college, like, I was
Babysitting.
smoking and stuff, but it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
I think I'd never really experienced high until I went to my second college. The first day I was out there, I smoked, and like, I just, oh my God, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
I felt like I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, I remember like everything, like I was sitting there and I was going to get food, and then like I had took a hit and my throat like just started burning.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, am I gonna die? And everything just started to turn like black and white. I don't know. And I have had some experiences where I have been paranoid. But I mean, if we're gonna talk about that, we can get into that in a few minutes. But I've had some bad experiences with weed.
Boy, I got an experience to tell y'all too.
Oh,
Crossfaded. First time I was crossfaded.
Y'all, just stay tuned because don't skip nothing. Because I promise you, these stories are quite like fascinating. Like I wouldn't expect, like, for one, this is what I always tell people: if you're gonna try weed, make sure that you try it on your own accord. Like it's your decision. For you, it seems like you're peer pressured, which is normal. A lot of people get peer pressured.
I ain't peer pressure no more, damn it.
Well, yeah, you ain't peer pressure no more. But think about it: when we're young, a lot of us are easily influenced by our environment
want to fit in
and want to fit in. Exactly. I don't think I've ever tried weed until like my freshman year college, and that was when like everybody was smoking weed. It's like, and the reason why we did it or we tried it was because our whole team was like we had like a team house, and you know, we were freshmen and we were new. It was like everybody was like in there, and it was just kind of like a bonding experience, you know, like to bring the team closer together. And you know, for me, my first experience, I had to drive, you know, so it's like people would always say, okay, when
using the Mustang,
yeah,
whipping the Mustang.
Yeah. So like I had to drive because I was always a driver, you know, regardless if it was high school, college. So afterwards, you know, it hadn't set in just yet. You know how sometimes like
Right.
Yeah. So
takes a while to kick in.
Exactly. And then you feel like you're
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. But long story short, by the time we're about to leave, you know, we wanted to go to Whataburger because everybody, you know, be hungry after, you know. So we drive into Whataburger, and when I tell you I am so paranoid, like every red light, I think that I'm going to get into a car accident because somebody's just going to run through it. And like every time I get closer to the red light, it gets farther and farther away. And then when we got to Whataburger, you know, I'm in line. You know how Whataburger is at like 12:30 a.m. Like there's cars wrapped everywhere. If you park,
depending on where you're at.
Yeah, if you park in the parking lot, you may not be able to get out because of the drive-through line.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's how bad it was. So we hop in the drive-through line, and it was crazy because it was that crowded, and there were people that were trying to get out of their parking spots who went into the restaurant, and I'm just there in line, and all these cars are trying to make subtle, you know, maneuvers to get people in and out. And when I tell you I could not see anything, like I don't know what it was, but all of us who were in there, it was like 4 of us. It was me, DeMarco, Travis, someone else. I forget who was all there, but I was literally trying to back up so I can let a car
out.
Exactly. And I could not see anything behind me. I'm literally like this. Am I good? I got it. And I'm just literally trusting them. And mind you, they high as hell behind me too. Right. So they can't see nothing either. They like, yeah, bro, you got it. Yeah.
You didn't have a backup camera.
I'm going, I had no backup camera. I'm going straight based off faith. I'm like, all right, God, make sure I just don't bump anything. And I'm just backing up slow.
With the smile on your face.
Yeah, you know, I'm just hopefully I don't hit nobody, you know. And that was my first experience. You know, ultimately we ended up getting home. Now, people always said that, you know, weed is not like alcohol. Like you can still do all the stuff that you need to do. And I think that you have to mature to that level in your consumption with weed. Me, I didn't continue to smoke weed after that day. One, because I didn't, you know, I didn't feel the need to. Two, you know, I feel like for me, once I try something, and I don't try everything, of course, I'm not going to try crack, obviously, or, you know, meth. I'm not going to do that. But for me, once I try something and I get an opinion on it, for me, it's easier to speak on it, especially if it's something that's considered not as dangerous or not dangerous in certain aspects, right? Yep. Like, obviously, if you smoke weed or you smoke crack, you know, I don't think there's any positive, you know, benefits of doing either or. But if you smoke weed, there are some benefits that, you know, you could, you know, receive from smoking the weed, right. Which is why I wasn't as like, you know, as against it to begin with. So I guess let's do a little roundtable. I talked about my first experience and, you know, where kind of I am today. Today I don't smoke weed. You know, I rarely drink alcohol. I just feel that, you know, I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, y'all shouldn't be doing it. You know, y'all are wrong for this or that. but that's just how I am. I don't, it's not in my daily routine. So let's do this roundtable. I guess we'll start out with our guests. So what was your craziest experience like with weed?
I'll say my crazy experience was so this is right after I graduated college. So the first time I had weed was in December. So this is in May 2017 now. May 2017. And I was just drinking with some friends. I don't even think we went out. I think we were just drinking, and we were like playing King's Cup and just King's Cup with hard liquor, not beer. And so then I was like, okay, I'm about to go home. And then my friend Daniel, who we went to middle school together, but now we're in college together, he's like, hey, Tarik, you want to hit from this bong? And I was like, sure, I've never had a bong before, but sure. Like, I've just started smoking weed 6 months ago. And so I had it hit from the bong. And like we're in his room on his bed, we're just passing it around, right? And like you said, it took a while to hit. And I'm like always aware of my situations. Always. Like you can't really catch me off guard in anything. Even if I'm like drinking or whatever, like I'm just always aware of my situations. So then I had like 2 puffs of this bong and it hits me. And I'm like, fuck, Tyre, you guys to get home. You guys to get home like in all regards. Like you're drunk like, and you high. And like I've never experienced it before. So I'm just like, it was a whole different like feeling. So I was like, fuck it. And you go through, you have these thoughts in your mind, and I'm like, oh, should I leave? Would that be rude of me? Blah, this and blah, that. And then my mind was just like, fuck it, you gotta leave these niggas. And so I'm like, I tell him I go use the restroom, and then I brought liquor, so I brought my liquor, and I had a shot glass. I got that in the kitchen, and I got in my car, and I live like maybe 3 minutes down the same road, so it was literally just a quick shot going to his place. But I call my friend. I'm so paranoid. And I call him. And I'm like, okay, I see one car going through. I see this car going through. And I pull up. I'm like, okay, God, I made it. And I like natural light, so I always have my blinds open, even at daytime, nighttime. I never close my blinds. But for some reason, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And this is after school, so no one's really on campus in the apartment complex. And I just get so nervous. I'm like, fuck, someone's watching me. Like, I'm on the first floor. I'm like, someone's gonna be looking at me. They're gonna be looking at my actions, and they're gonna pull me over. They're not pulling me over, but they're gonna come in the door and like, arrest me or whatever. So I just close all the blinds. And then I lay down to go to sleep, and I feel like the urge to throw up. And so then my mind is like, no, those are just demons. Like fight the urge. Don't let the demons get the best of you, whatever, right? Damn. This is how I was feeling, right? And so then at this point it's coming, and I just lunge out of the bed. I go into the toilet. I throw up, and I just go in front of the sink. I look in the mirror, and it was very, very surreal. But I had, you guys are gonna laugh, but I had the devil on one shoulder, and I had an angel on the other shoulder.
He was gone.
And so the devil was like, man, you can continue doing what you're doing, like continue living your life, do whatever you want to do, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. And the angel on the other side was like, no, like, and he kind of like showed me what my life would be like if I was continuing to, I wasn't really doing any bad stuff, but just, drinking, smoking.
You went to A&M, so just so y'all know that they get down.
And my life was horrible. I had a horrible relationship with my mom. I was like married on my 3rd marriage. My kids didn't like me. And he showed me like that will be my future, was like if I didn't accept them. And so then I was like, man, I don't want that. So it's kind of deep for a first experience. It's kind of like accepting Jesus. And then I remember taking a shower, and I was just throwing up like violently. And I was like, man, like if I choke right now, if I'm dead, like that's it. Like I guess this is the way that I'm going out. Obviously didn't die.
Hey, that sucks to go out from weed.
And so then I lay down, I go to sleep, and I wake up. And the weird thing is that I had a graduation party in Houston that weekend. So this might be Wednesday, and I had a graduation party that weekend. And we ordered a tent in our backyard. and the guy came to pick up the tents the night before, and he sent my mom this weird message, like literally just a guy you go online, find tents, and put in your order or whatever. And he sends this weird message to my mom, and my mom screenshot is like, "Don't you think this is weird?" But this is literally the morning after I had this experience, and he was like, "Keep God first. If you keep God first, everything will fall in this place." Blah this and blah that. My mom was like, "Yo, isn't this weird?" And I'm just like, "Damn, that's too much of a coincidence."
Directed towards me.
Yeah, yeah, that's like too much of a coincidence. Just the night before, I was seeing devils and seeing angels on my shoulder. But that's, I think, was the craziest experience that I had while smoking.
I think for me, it happened when I was at SFA.
Yep.
And at this time while I was at SFA, I started smoking a little bit more regularly than I normally was. And I was hanging out with one of my friends, and I was going to stay a night at her crib. So we were just sitting there smoking, and her dude was a dealer. So, like, we just got our weed from him. So she was like, "All right, I'm finna go take a shower." I'm like, "All right, bet, cool." So I'm just sitting in the room. We already smoked, so we're just sitting there chilling. And then I'm laying her on her bed, and I'm like, okay, I'm low-key high as fuck. So I'm just sitting there, and I started seeing like black and white, just like black and white. And I'm like, okay. I kind of think it's like the paranoia kind of thing, what you were talking about. But yeah. I was like, okay, I'm cool. I was like, relax, you're good. Relax, you're good. So then out of nowhere, like, I get this like urge to throw up, kind of like how you were saying. Yeah. And she's in the bathroom. I'm like, open the door. And I'm like, for me, I had to throw up and I had to shit. Like, this is TMI, but it was coming out both ends. It was so bad. And I was like, well.
So when you were throwing up, where were you pooping? And when you were pooping, where were you throwing up?
She ended up getting out the shower, and I threw up in the shower while I was shitting.
In the shower?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
It was so bad.
It was really coming out of both ends.
I was like, well, maybe, like, was my stuff laced? But then, like, I wasn't sure. And, like, after I had threw up and all that, I got out, I took a shower, and then I was like, okay. So I laid back on the bed, and, like, I was laying there.
Before it was just weed?
It was just weed. I was, like, so afraid to close my eyes. Like, I was laying there. I'm like, bro, if I close my eyes, I don't think I'm going to wake back up.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. That's how I felt. And then I ended up going to sleep, and I woke back up. But I don't know. And then you said you were crossfaded. I've never had, like, a bad experience crossfaded.
You mean you never had a good experience?
Bad.
That's interesting.
Like, I'm always fine if I do it. But.
You said doo-doo, by the way.
Anyways. What I was told is if you are going to drink while you do smoke, they say smoke first, and your liquor tolerance is a lot higher, and you won't really feel it. Yeah. And it's true. It works.
If you're a young person watching this, do not listen to us.
Don't listen.
Well, at least to her.
I do not promote drugs and drinking.
We don't promote. I think we all should be individuals, and most people struggle to be individuals at a young age. You know, it's understandable, right? Mm-hmm. That you haven't developed yet. You don't have your own thought process for making certain decisions. But, just know that you have all the power to make the decisions that you want to make. And if people want to try to peer pressure you, understand that you are more powerful than, you may think you are. So say no. But if you're ready to do it, then do it. I'm not promoting it, but, to each their own. If that's you, then do it. But do everything responsibly. Like I tell everybody, everything has a good and it has a bad. There's a good thing the drinking alcohol. There's a good thing the smoking weed. There's a bad thing as well. Some people get certain pleasures out of, drinking alcohol or smoking weed. You have a better social experience if that's what you're getting at. You may have more fun. That's something that you may experience while
more creativity.
Yeah, higher creativity. You may think differently. All those things, but there's also a bad side to it as well. Like, having a bad experience or putting yourself in a situation where you may get hurt, something like that. So do everything responsibly.
Ooh, I have another experience to show. It's not bad. But, so there was one time when me and my friends at SFA, we hotboxed her car, and I stayed in the dorm at the time. So, like, we came back to my dorm at, like, 11. I think it was, like, 11. And right when we came in, we just went to sleep. So we sleeping. I had braids in my hair, so of course, like, the weed smell stuck to my hair. Uh-oh. Yeah. So, we sleep or whatever. We get bangs on the door at 4 a.m. from NAC PD. NAC PD and then the campus police. And they're like, we got a weed complaint. Da, 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 da. And I knew the bitch who did it. Oh my God, I knew who did it too. And I'm like, girl, I could have ratted you out for keeping liquor in your dorm, but go off. Anyways, so they came in, they're like, can we just search the room? And I'm like, do what you gotta do. Like, I sleep in a sports bra. He's like, can you put a shirt on? And I said, first of all, you're in my room. Do what you need to do
Damn.
and then get the fuck out. Like,
Damn.
and then so
She
he's
don't like
searching the
pigs.
room. He's searching the room, did not find any weed, but he's like, I do smell weed. I said, does my hair. Like, I'm not gonna
It's
sit
the
here and lie to
shampoo.
you. I'm like, it's in my hair. And, you know, obviously they can't do anything if you don't have weed on you. So I was like, what are you gonna do to me? You know, I got weed smell in my hair, but I'm just like, dude, like, you knocking on my door at 4 a.m. and you expect me not to be grumpy because you just woke me up out of some good ass sleep for a
'Cause-
weed complaint.
Because when you do weed, you have some deep sleep.
Deep sleep. Oh my God, I was so mad.
That's something I can attest to. In my experience, when I did get back to my dorm and went to sleep, I slept all the way through, slept to 10 a.m., felt amazing. It was very amazing.
And that's why it helps me with my chronic illness. I'm able to sleep. My body be hurting, y'all.
And also, like, I know a lot of people who just started getting into weed because it became legalized in certain places, and their whole kind of philosophy about it changed. And a lot of it is due to public perception and what media puts out there for you to kind of ingest. And if you put
Ingest. See what he did there?
yeah, but if you decide to do your own research on these topics, I think it'll change your opinion a lot on them, because a lot of what you know is stuff that was fed to you in ways that you don't even really understand, ways that you were brought up, ways that were kind of bestowed onto you through either tradition, culture, or, you know, propaganda, whatever the case may be. So that's something that comes with learning about the real world, learning about yourself, being an individual, and knowing that the world is not always what you think it is. And most of the time, it's not what you think it is. So you have to be willing to take time to figure out what's important to you and what's important to learn. Because if you want to try these things, you know, try it, but understand what it is and what it can do to you. Don't listen to what I'm saying or what this guy's saying. Do your own research. Figure out if it's right for you. So, Tarik, go ahead.
I gotta blow my nose.
So, if you're watching the podcast and you see that Tarik's eyes look extremely red, he just
He's
smoked.
not high.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He actually has terrible allergies, and right when he got here, you know, he was like, Floyd, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and I was like, you got it, bro. And he was like, you know, just looking terrible. But I went and I got him some medicine. So he should be Claritin clear in a little bit. And Claritin, if you're listening to this, you know, I do, you know, I'll take the sponsorship. But
Just pay first.
yeah, just go ahead. You know, we'll start out small. We'll test it out, then we'll see how it goes from there. So
Question.
go ahead.
No. You had a question.
Oh,
You were
honestly, I
asked a
forgot my question, but you know, this podcast is terrible. But I was gonna get to you've had a journey with weed, marijuana. Can you explain your phases and how weed has kind of impacted your life? You know, we've already heard from both you guys and from myself how we got introduced to weed, at least from an experience standpoint. So what would your journey with weed kind of entail? Could you explain that?
Yeah, so first time I smoked was like 2016, 2017. Didn't really smoke afterwards. When I was working, Monday I would fly out to, when I was working for my company, Monday I would fly out to the client, and then Thursday I would fly back. I happened to have a client in the Bay Area. I don't know if anyone knows this, but the Bay Area is known to have the best weed of the United States of America. So I was just, I can't do anything now because I'm like already gone from the company. But anyway, in California, I was in Sacramento. First week I was out there, I was like, hey, let me get some delivered. So I got it delivered, and I was like, okay, this isn't really good. And like the weed was not good. And so then the next week I got better weed. Like I actually did the research and whatnot. Actually got like a medical marijuana card or something. I don't know. But anyway, I was smoking every week in California, and then I said, okay, well, I'll smoke in California, and I'll just leave it in California. Whenever I come back to Texas on Thursday, be clean in Texas. Then it got to a point to when I was bringing it back from California to Texas, and then I was doing it on the weekends, and then it just kind of took off from there, and I was like smoking every day. I was at that point, like I was still like functioning, like I could. I didn't smoke before work, but I could like go to work, smoke, smoke late at night, still wake up. No one would know whatever. Smoke before a flight, no one would know. Get behind the wheel, all that stuff, bad stuff, all that bad stuff, and did that answer your question?
So do you feel like, what do you feel like your reason for smoking was? Was it like helping you through mentally something you're dealing with, or is it just because like you're like, fuck it, I want to smoke, I'm gonna smoke?
I think it was that second one, but already me as a person, I know that I love to test the boundaries. Like
You have an addictive personality.
I have a very addictive personality, so I like to like test myself a lot. Like even in normal circumstances, like, oh, can I get this napkin in the trash can? And if I can't get it, I'll keep on trying. So even when I was doing weed, it was like, okay, I can have one blunt, now I'm fine. Okay, can you take 2 blunts? Okay, you did 2 blunts, let's try 3 blunts. And then and that's really how it was. And it was, I don't know, it was just like testing the limit. And what I got from it, it was it was very relaxing. I was like super creative. Like my mind was just like racing, like had so many ideas.
I will say when I do, even like when I smoke, just for my pain, it does put me in a very creative mind. Like I draw a lot of designs in my notes of stuff that I want to make, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Or like I can make a whole lot of music when I'm high.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Isn't it weird? We're speaking about weed. Do you guys like smell weed or something, or is my mind playing with me?
I can't
It's
smell.
your mind. I don't smell
I can't
weed.
smell shit.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
Up.
My bad, Tarik. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just gave a creative state, and I felt like, I guess like towards 2019, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I wasn't necessarily in the state that I wanted to be in life. So when I smoked it, like I always envisioned that I was wherever I wanted to be in life, like not location wise, but in my life journey. So it was to escape. I kind of used it to escape at times. And then it became like, okay, Floyd, this never happens. Floyd and I just had a very confrontational phone call. Okay, he hangs up, I hang up. Fuck, I'm stressed. I need to go smoke. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that. So yeah, that was how it progressed all the way from.
So it became more of like a coping mechanism as well.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So that's how it progressed from senior year of college to 2019, early 2020, mid 2020.
So I think it's important that people understand, because when we were growing up, people always said that weed was not addictive. They said that cigarettes were addictive because of nicotine.
Yeah.
But we all know people, either family members or friends, who've been smoking for years and years and years and years, and they can't stop.
Yep. And people say that, it's like, I tell people like, hey, I've been addicted to weed or whatnot. There's like, and they're like, weed is not it's not addictive. And I'm like, yeah, well, there's a lot of things that's not addictive. But if you don't know yourself, like if you have an addictive personality, regular things could be addictive. Caffeine can be addictive.
I don't think necessarily weed itself is addicting, but I do think like your mind, where your mind goes when you're high, that's addicting. Yeah. And you want to get back to that state.
Right.
So I don't know.
The thoughts are addictive.
Right.
But I think it goes more towards the person. Like if you have an addictive nature, then yeah, weed is going to be more addictive than others. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So.
But to that point, anything can be addictive.
Yeah.
So like even food or, drinks, some certain type of drinks, not even alcohol. It could be milk. Yeah. Like you could be addicted to milk. Certain people just have certain preferences about different items that they enjoy. And, you could like Fiji water over, or Zarka, or I don't know. That could be your addiction. Some people I know love diet soda for whatever reason.
I love cupcakes.
Yeah, she loves.
Testify to this.
Have you had Crave cupcakes?
Crave
No,
cupcakes?
I have cupcakes that are better than Crave cupcakes.
You make
No,
cupcakes.
They're located off 1960.
They're a black-owned business too.
Yeah,
So what's
black-owned.
the name of it?
It's like Cupcake Swirl or something like that. I'll give you the address because you can scoop some on the way home. When I tell you they good, I eat like at least 8 a week. 8 a week.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a black family-owned business until one day she told me go pick her up some. So I went to go pick her up some, and I was just talking to the lady that worked there. She was a young black lady. I was like, "Oh, is this like a chain or is this like a mom and pop kind of thing?" She was like, "Oh no, it's a mom and pop thing. My aunt, she actually built this from the ground up and blah blah blah." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, well."
The best cupcakes I've had in my motherfucking life.
See, now she's hyping it up.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not. Look, I even put my mom on the cupcakes. Like, I had gave her one for my sister's birthday, and she was like, "Can you bring me some?" My mom lives in San Antonio. And when I went to go pick up my niece, she was like, "Can you just bring me, like, 8 cupcakes?" I'm
How
like,
big are they?
they're good. They're, like, this big, and they're the heavy cupcakes. They're not light.
Is the frosting good?
Yes. Oh, my God. And it goes so good with ice cream.
So yeah, shout out to them. You should make a TikTok and then put them on the map because they could be a sponsor of the
And then
show.
get
Give us
free
free cupcakes. Give us free cupcakes for our guests. So you talk about how you went through a whole journey. I think it's important that most people who smoke weed or drink alcohol for the first time, they don't get addicted. That's the vast majority of people. But like you said, you got to know who you are as a person. If you're the type of person where you have to eat rainbow Skittles every day, or you have to, drink, I don't know, grape
A glass
soda.
of orange juice for the morning. If not, then
Heather, my best friend,
that's an addictive.
she drinks orange juice every single morning. She does not miss orange juice any morning. I kid you not. If she don't have orange juice, she'll go to the store and buy orange juice. She has to drink orange juice every morning.
And that's why I tell people there's a good and a bad to everything, because even orange juice has negative effects if you consume too much. It's very acidic. It could mess your
sugar.
Yeah,
Orange juice is nasty.
it can mess your stomach up. If you wanna take a mean shit, just drink a whole lot of orange juice. So but
Or just consume a lot of fiber. That works as well.
I'm talking about like a
Or it could
motory,
just be
like a
negative smoke.
kind of, not like I'm talking about machine gun shit, not like a regular, solid dookie. I'm talking about the
Splatter.
the one where you gotta lift up the
Scooby
toilet
boo
seat
bop.
and you like, dang, I got splatter way over here. Like, damn.
Nasty.
That I'm talking about that kind. But
Why are we over here talking about shit, for?
That's the next topic that we're going to talk about. How to take a mean shit.
tutorial. Swipe your hand. No, I'm kidding. But I think that, it's important that we all share our experiences, because someone who may be going through something similar, I think it's important because you've had breakthroughs and you've gone through certain kind of life-changing, I don't want to say events, but life-changing days where you're like, okay, I want to change this or I want to change that. And kind of explain to us what that kind of was like. So like you explain how weed had become addictive. How did that affect you on a growth level? Like as far as you trying to get to where you're trying to be as a real estate investor, boyfriend, whatever, son, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I would say on the relationship side of it, like my relationships with people were dwindling. I would, when they would reach out or call or text, I wouldn't answer because I'll be high and I'll be in my own zone. So it definitely,
You really do be forgetting though.
you definitely do. You just be like, okay, is Avery's calling me? Okay, I'll do it when I'm done. And then when you're done, you go eat and you go sleep. But yeah, it's like, my relationships with people were dwindling. When it comes to success or me being as successful as I can be, it did give me like creative ideas that I could act on when I was sober. But then also it's like, if you are addicted to it, if you do it a lot, then it's like, okay, like you're supposed to be in a meeting right now, or you're in it. This is how I was. Like I was in a meeting, like, right? I was meeting with some contractors or whatnot. And it was just like, usually when I'm in meetings, like I ask a lot of questions and I'm like very inquisitive and people had to tell me like, hey, I got a next appointment. We got to end this, right? But in that point, it was like, I was the one ending it early just so I can go home and smoke, right? So it's like that's kind of dwindling me from me doing what or stopping me from doing what I need to do, handling business and whatnot. Yeah, it was super. It gave me creative ideas, but it just kind of consumes your life, and you really can't be the best that you can be. I mean, it's a very time intensive,
An expensive hobby.
Yeah, time intensive and a very expensive hobby. You know, if you, depending on how you consume your weed, if you do backwoods, you gotta of course buy it, but then you gotta break it up, crush it up, grind it, do all that stuff, and that takes time. And then you smoke it, then after that you're gone for, so it takes hours, you know what I mean? And that's like hours that you'll never get back, hours that you could be reading, hours that you could be writing, making YouTube videos, perfecting your craft, going to school, working, so yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's expensive, but it also takes time.
And I think it's interesting because like with addictive things, like when you become addicted to something, it always starts out like let's say you're in a relationship, you have the honeymoon phase where everything is good. My problems are being solved because I'm feeling better. I feel less pain. It's a great, kind of alternative to doing whatever else I was doing before. And then it gets to a point where the relationship becomes toxic because you are no longer in control of what you really want to do because you have something else kind of driving your decision making.
Yep.
And like, let's say like this. I always tell people, if you're going to be in a relationship, make sure that most of the time when you're in that relationship, it's helping you grow. Because it's like this. Let's say we had a toxic relationship, and every time we had an argument, well, let's say we had arguments, 7 days out the week. And just think about how much stress that adds on to your just day, like your regular day, going to the grocery store, going to work, doing anything. You're constantly worried about something, stressing you out, and it takes a toll on you. So I always tell people, if you're going to be in a relationship with anything, whether it's, some kind of drug or some kind of, whatever the case may be, a person, make sure that it is a healthy relationship, because it will definitely deter you from what you really want to do if it takes over you.
Yep. I don't think there's any healthy relationships with drugs.
Well, it's a slippery slope. I'll put it that way, because I think that with drugs is one of those things where if you truly can master your discipline in consuming and, using it in a way that you feel is going to solve your problems but not add to them, it's different.
Yeah.
But it also means understanding yourself. Am
Right.
I ready to take on this as a thing? Am I ready to accept using weed, drinking alcohol, putting that into my life?
Right.
So if you feel like you haven't grown enough as a person to be able to make that decision, to be truthful with yourself, then don't do it, because you're going to set yourself up for failure most likely. But if you feel that you have gotten that far in your life and you're self-disciplined enough to know that, okay, I want to try weed, but I'm not going to let it take over my life. Right. There's still that chance that it could take over your life because you never had it before. But, that's the risk that you're taking. So what has it changed for you in your business kind of opportunities? Like, have you ever feel like you lost an opportunity or maybe gained an opportunity? Tarik over blowing those allergies, kicking his butt. I feel so bad for him. But if y'all
have to repeat that question.
Yeah, definitely rate this podcast 5 stars, because Tarik, look what he doing for y'all.
They can't see me right now, so.
Yeah, but look what he doing for y'all. He over here blowing his nose trying to make it through the podcast because he's trying to drop some gems. That's dedication right there.
Okay, can you repeat the question?
As soon as this channel gets monetized, I'm breaking you off. 'Cause that's love.
YouTube check ain't that much.
Just
But
give me some Claritin up.
Some Claritin. I'm breaking off with some Claritin.
Or a new nose. A new nasal surgery with no allergies.
So have you feel like you've ever lost any business opportunities or gained business opportunities just because of weed?
Gained is a good question. No, I don't feel like I lost any business opportunities. Have have I gained any business opportunities? Not traditional business. Not traditional business. Just kidding. No, I don't think I've lost business opportunities behind it. I don't think that I've gained business opportunities behind it. I think that has given me a creative aspect to where I can monopolize off of, not monopolize, but monetize certain ideas. So yeah, it will be times when I was consuming and I thought about, hey, shit, what about if we do it this way? Or what about if we do this idea? Or if like this hasn't been created before, then it's like that opens up a new avenue of business. So yeah, I guess business opportunities came from it. But yeah, but not in your traditional like sense, more on the creative aspect of it.
You know what's crazy is like a lot of the like really, really rich people, like, the rich white people that you see in movies, they do all these drugs and whatever. And it's an acceptance thing. It's a peer pressure thing, because like if you're that young, motivated person trying to make it in whatever industry, and you're meeting the CEO of this company, and they're all having fun at a strip club, spending $50,000 and snorting crack off or cocaine off strippers' butts and everything. And if you don't do it, they're going to look at you like, okay, maybe I don't want to do business with him because I don't know if I can trust him. You know what I mean?
And that's the peer pressure behind
exactly. And that's the peer pressure. So I think, it's interesting because people don't really think about all that kind of stuff that comes into it and how you get to where you are. Like a lot of those CEOs were probably in that situation where, they were that young kid and, their higher up or their, role model was doing that stuff. Yep. And put it on them, and now they're just kind of, it became a tradition.
Like at U of H with your freshman experience. That was like more like a tradition.
Exactly.
Coming together bonding moment. So it's like if you go to U of H right now, a freshman is probably still doing that same thing that you did, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Right. So we talked a little bit about you and quitting smoking. Is that still something that you're prioritizing, or how does your relationship with weed?
I think like if you're addicted to something, it takes like a couple of weeks and then you're good. So it's like allergies.
Dang, poor Tarik. I feel bad for you, dude.
So I haven't smoked in a while, and it's not something that I think about. As of right now, I'm just super busy with work, friends, networking and whatnot. So it hasn't even really crossed my mind. So yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep the camera on you for that one, but I guess we kind of reached our time. I don't want to make this thing go too long. We really appreciate you coming through again, Tarik. Hopefully we can do more. Nay is just cracking up. Yeah, we're gonna end the podcast because we don't want.
It's really the Red Eye Podcast now.
Yeah. And the Red Eye Podcast is not because we're smoking weed and we're high on the show. The Red Eye Podcast, the name originated because the first episode that I edited at like 3:30 a.m. and that's like a red eye flight.
My
right?
little hard worker.
Thanks.
With no substances either.
Yeah, with no substances. That was just pure, off the brute force, whatever, all that stuff. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Check out my YouTube channel, Naomi Marie.
Yes, check out her YouTube channel. We did a podcast on her channel. It's going up today. We're recording this. What's today?
Sunday.
Today is the 26th or 7th, 27th.
The last Sunday of September, whatever day that is. The 27th?
Today's the 27th.
Okay. So, Tarik, any closing words?
Before you try anything, if you
say it with your chest, you know why we do this.
Definitely understand yourself, and I would say if you are going to consume any substances, do it in an environment that you feel safe in. Don't do it at a party and then you have to figure out how to get home. Do it in a spot that you can control. If you were to do it, not saying you have to.
Good advice. My advice to you all would be just be yourself and do it if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But you guys don't have to listen to us. We're just people on the internet. You really don't.
My advice. My advice is don't knock someone else doing weed, you know, just based off of like what you know about it. Like some people actually do use it for like illnesses and, you know, pains that they deal with. And yeah, don't knock it till you try it. I'm not saying try it.
I wouldn't necessarily say don't knock it till you try it, but I'll say do your research before you have any kind of hard opinion on it, because
well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like some people do it for different reasons. Like mine is for my illness, so like
it became for your illness.
For my illness. But when we first got together, I wasn't smoking.
Yeah, I know. She's telling the truth. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie. So thank you, so thank you guys so much for watching. Air horns for Tarik, and we out.
Peace.